One of the things that you're going to be using a lot in 5th and 6th year will be minus b formula for quadratic equation. And we start to learn that in our junior cert. So again, very important. So here we have solved the equation. First, how do I understand, how do I recognize quadratic equation? When you have, like here, x to the power of 2. Now at junior cert level, it's only going to be x, but going forward, it can be any letter. It could be A, it could be P, it could be any letter. Oh, my apologies, that should be A. So once I have that situation, when I have a letter to the power of 2, I will be thinking about minus b formula. So what is that minus b formula? So we go to our table, page 20, if I'm not mistaken, not 21, and there it is, that formula at the very top. Like with every formula, we have to understand, well, how do I use it? How do I know what is A, B, and C in a question that is given to me? And here you have explanation. A is that number that stands beside x to the power of 2. Not x to the power of 2, number beside it. So in our case, that will be 2. So A will be 2. B is a number that stands beside x with no power. Again, not the x, number beside it. Number beside it here is what? Minus 7. Why do we consider minus 7? Because in the formula we have plus plus. So therefore, B in this case is minus 7. And again, C is that number at the end that doesn't have x beside it. So in this case, again, we are taking it with minus, so that is minus 3. Okay, how do we apply it? So let me just write that formula again. And when you are starting, I would say that's how you can learn how to use this formula. You write it out, and then basically you rub out letters as you identify them. So B is minus 7. So instead of B, we remove B. And in that place, we put minus 7. Do you see that way we're not going to get caught with minus minus? And again here, minus 7. Important part. When you are putting that in the calculator, you have to make sure your negative value that is taken to the power is in the bracket. Otherwise, your calculator very often will say an error. So you always, if should in case, that's where you check your values. Then the next one, we have letter A. So our letter is 2. So we're going to replace this A and this A with 2. So we remove that and we put 2 instead. And then C is minus 7. So again, we remove C and we put minus 3. Sorry, did I say minus 7? Minus 3. Okay, and all we have to do, we put that all in the calculator with one with plus here. And then again, we go back and we remove that plus and we put minus here. The question here is looking for value of x to 2 decimal place. So the two values we should get is 3.89 and the second minus 0.39. Can't stress it enough. You really need to know how to use that because you're going to be using that a lot and in a lot of different scenarios in between 5th and 6th year. So knowing how to use this formula and knowing how to use it well and knowing how to put all of that in your calculator will give you a great advantage in 5th and 6th year.